Hi there, gallery members and new viewers alike. Thanks for tuning in for this latest edition of Gridiron Gallery. If you haven't seen my channel before up until this point with new videos, recommend you like this one and subscribe for more. We got plenty of content on all your favorite football leagues. And for those gallery members out there, thank you as always for tuning in. Really can't appreciate you enough. Now, on to the show. Once again, it is back to the NFL season. We are on the cusp, and that means the Zach, Tony, and Grimbo Show is once again in full swing here on the Gridiron Gallery podcast. Zach Keilman here alongside my buddies, my cohorts, my co-hosts of this iteration of the Gridiron Gallery podcast. It is Tony Stenulson out in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. Meanwhile, Michael Grimberg over in the region just outside of Chicago. Guys, welcome on in to the show. For those wondering, I'm in Indianapolis. Good to see you guys in for recording. Of course, we've been hanging out. We've hung out since our last show. It's not like we just kind of dropped off the face of the earth on the draft night. You know, we still talk on the side. And we got the chats outside of here. We saw a baseball game together. You know, did some stuff non-football related. So that's great. How we doing though? You know, it's been several months since, of course, our draft episode. A few less between Tony and I when we talked Aaron Rodgers possibly leaving town. That didn't happen, of course. But you know, how's life, guys? How we doing? At least since we saw each other at the Sox game and hung out together, and you know, got to watch that awesome game spectacle.
Well, it was great. Awesome to some people, you know.
Yeah, you know,
right here.
I'll say two of us. I'm the neutral party in this matter.
Yeah, I can't believe I called that walk off too. I was like, it's gonna be somebody that's just absolute trash.
Yeah, you're right.
Just sit there doing this the whole time.
That's right.
Soft clap.
I mean, after the game, I was like,
that's right. Clap. So nonchalant though, Tony. It's just for you. You were ready. I was impressed, and not even a flinch, not even disappointment. Just expectations were right on par.
Took it like a champ.
I know who we are.
Fair enough.
Right, you are, Tony. Right, you are. Anyway, now that we got that out of our system, it was going to come up. I just had to poke some fun at that game, but. You know, while we're at it, let's talk about the main issues, folks. We're talking NFL football once again on this edition of the show. We're talking preseason, the early days, all the hype. All the teams are going nuts because everyone looks great. No one looks bad. We're all going to be winning the Super Bowl at the end of the day, and Tom Brady's going to retire this year. I swear to God, it's going to happen. You know someone's saying it. I don't say it anymore. I don't think any of us say it anymore. But someone out there says this is the year. This is his final year. He's going to hit the cliff. But no, it's probably not the case. Anyway, though, guys, preseason week 1 has already taken place as of this show. Many the takes are really focused on the quarterback play. Of course, this quarterback draft class was very much stocked. It was going to be the focal point of this one. Many teams vying for stellar performances, little glimpses of hope. Maybe things have changed, or maybe changing of the guards will happen in terms of teams that were really looking on that, at least that radar. Chicago being myself, you know, everyone's going nuts over Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence, of course, is going to be put under the microscope. Zach Wilson got his time to shine a little bit in New York. You got Trey Lance making plays in the Bay Area, the one that has been making noise in training camp and then made noise probably the most out of all the QBs week 1 as well. I could talk QBs all day, guys, but I'll kick things over to Michael to start. You have any other tidbits and points, or do you want to hit into these QB comparisons and just kind of what you noticed first?
Yeah, I feel like the QBs, like you already said, it was just that's the focal point of this whole preseason is what everyone wants to see. It's the big shiny toy everyone wants to glimmer at, you know, and I think just something that I am kind of keeping an eye on is in Indianapolis, actually, where you're at, and
yeah.
with the Colts and that whole quarterback situation. What's going to happen, with Carson Wentz and how healthy he's actually going to be, and if he's actually going to be the starter week 1. And they drafted Jacob Eason a while ago, and they took a quarterback this year as well, Sam Ellinger, and they both had pretty good preseason starts. And I mean, they both shared time against the Panthers, I believe. And
yes, sir.
That's I watched that game, and I thought they both did very well. Surprisingly enough, because I feel like we don't really hear anything about Jacob Eason from that quarterback class. I believe it was with Josh Allen, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong, but then you throw Sam Ellinger in there too, because you never know what's going to happen with Carson Wentz. Are you going to get healthy? Or are you not going to get healthy? So I kind of feel like I see Jacob Eason being the starter if Carson Wentz isn't going to be playing, just because he's been more productive as a passer, whereas Ellinger, he did very well with his legs. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now and what I've seen so far in this preseason. And I'm kind of excited for these Colts because they had high expectations last year, and ready to see what they're going to do with their quarterback room. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah. And, I don't want to make this complete. I know that it's easy to do the quarterback competitions, but I mean, you got so many this year that even more than normal, very, again, loaded class of talent there, but also, I'm glad you brought that one up, because that was more supposed to be Wentz's job. And then now all of a sudden we're talking maybe Wentz is reporting to come back week 1. Same, by the way, him and Quentin Nelson, exact same foot injury. So that is completely out of the blue that they get hit with the exact same injury, that they both might make week 1 at this point, because apparently rehab is going that well. So who knows? But talking at least Eason and Ellinger, no one saw that one coming. Talking about camp battles too. I mean, we got Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, as in Michael's terms, the greatest running back to ever throw a football.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like, I mean, early signs show, at least there, that I think Winston's going to get that job. I know Hill didn't exactly have the best outing as the starter for that contest. They're going to interchange him, of course, but I think you'll see Winston take the reins there. But it's not just rookies we're talking about too. I mean, glad you brought up the other competitions as well. And I mean, there's some other position ones that might be brought up too. I mean, some receivers, even the Saints, Michael Thomas looks like he might be, feeling a bit better about his situation there, but there's still possibility he gets traded. Or you have other evaluations like the Deshaun Watson situation, where we're still not sure what's going to happen there. So we have to evaluate Davis Mills on the fly, just in case as well.
Ooh.
So yeah, who is that? Out of this draft class, seem to get lost in the shuffle. I can't seem to track him down.
Right. Yep. That's just like Sam Ellinger.
What matchup, or at least comparisons and battles did you see, Tony? I mean, you got several going on in the NFL right now. Obviously, it's week 1, so everyone's just happy to be back with football. And by the way, kind of cool to see fans in the stands again. Didn't think that would surprise me, but hey, Chicago was packed for maybe some reasons at least. So
yeah, I some of us are actually in week 2 of preseason, because we played a god awful Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio.
That's right.
So the quarterback battles are a really interesting thing to watch. I'm really seeing the development of like a Jalen Waddle or Devonta Smith, who are going to be playing more so in their systems. It's good to see. Personally, I hate preseason more than anything in the world. I think that I really enjoyed the expansion of the regular season to get rid of one of the weeks of preseason, because the way I see it is I've watched so much football in the past that you have some of these impact players go down with season-ending injuries in the preseason. And so to go down in a meaningless game, you hate to see it. I mean, you've had people multiple years just, one bad snap or one bad play, they go down, and the team's season's basically gone. I would like to see them just have, training camp practices, what they need to do. And I know scrimmaging each other isn't the same thing as scrimmaging other teams, but at the same time, like, that risk is just a little too high. So as much as I love watching these young rookies and these second-year players, really try to earn their spots, and we could talk about Josh Rosen being released by his fourth team in 3-4 years.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you see. You really get to pick. They get to pick and choose who does best in the game type situation. But at the same time, we know who's going to be starting 90% of the time week one for each team, whether it's quarterback, wide receiver. We know that part. The only thing that gets iffy is the depth spot. So I think keeping stars out of preseason would be an idea. Like, you don't want to have, like, 49ers, you don't want Trey Lance to go down with a season-ending injury in preseason, and you don't have him for the whole season in case Jimmy G's not, up to snuff.
Well, sure. I get that point. Hell, if we're talking that kind of movement going at that pace, I mean, just look at the Chargers-Rams game that took place, SoFi Stadium being filled up with almost 70,000 fans for preseason game. First off, crazy.
Wow.
I know it's the NFL, and of course people are ravenous about their football, but I mean, this is a stadium that had so much money and hype built behind it, and you just hear that number and you go, man, imagine what the possibilities and the kind of energy it is for some of those Angelinos that are looking to go out there and watch a game in Inglewood. It's going to be nice. But they took the route, like you're saying, Tony, where they really just sat everybody, and again, this is similar. Funny how it works. You're in the same market and it's two coaches from the same tree, one being a former defensive coordinator for the other, and both thinking along the same lines. Even it went to the point where Sean McVay sat his backup and his starting quarterbacks. John Wolford and Matthew Stafford didn't play in week one of the preseason. So just shows you how much he values even those depth positions. And it brings this question up, guys. I kind of want to hear your take on it. I don't think I've ever asked you this, even as we've done our editions. I think Tony laid it out there, but do you find entertainment out of the preseason? I mean, do you want it to fully be abolished? Tony, I gotta get that sense from you. I haven't really heard Michael's take on this that I can recall.
I mean, I'm not for, like, getting rid of preseason completely. I think I would like to see maybe 2 games. I feel like 3 is not too much, but like 2 games I feel like would be pretty good for, like Tony said, like the guys that are still fighting for a job. 2 games is kind of hard to prove yourself, like to get a rhythm going and stuff. But I don't know. I don't have anything on the preseason other than what Tony was already saying with injuries and stuff. But I mean, it's nice to see that, like a Mac Jones getting his time to shine. Those first round quarterbacks trying, like, getting their feet wet. And then defensive players like Patrick Surtain, he's had a pick 6 against the Vikings, and it's nice to see stuff like that, like, because you invest so heavily, fans do, into the draft, and then they get those guys and they want to see them immediately. They don't want to wait till September. They want to see what they can do now, and that's why I support preseason, but then I don't at the same time because of the injuries and stuff. And I feel like, I know that's part of the business. Like, that's how it goes. But, like, I don't know. This is their time. This is the undrafted people's time to shine. Like, this is where we find those Victor Cruz and Adam Thielens, and the list goes on and on. And those, it's kind of cool to see those kind of guys get their time to shine, and then they make it. It's like making the show, that's just what it's about, I think. So
Sure.
Yeah, and I think if more teams focus on that aspect, it'd be more enjoyable. I don't really find enjoyment out of just watching guys, go at each other for no reason. The competitor in me wants to see somebody win, wants to see somebody lose, and actually have it mean something. But yeah, seeing those undrafteds and those guys that are fighting for a spot, that's great. I I just don't like having your stars. For example, if you look at Dallas, like you had Dak kind of injure his shoulder in practice a little bit. No structural damage, looking good for week 1. McCarthy said he's not playing in the preseason, which is good. I don't think he should play in the preseason. I think him, Amari, CD, and Michael Gallup should be sitting on the bench and coaching up these young guys. If that was the case, yeah, I'm all for it, because I don't want to lose Amari Cooper. I don't want to lose CD Lamb for the season because of one play in a meaningless game to me. Patrick Surtain, he's going to get the automatic start too. Mac Jones is probably going to be the starter in New England after week 3. So I don't trust Cam Newton.
I thought you were going to say it. Thought I was
going to say week 1.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but week 3 seems like the best option, because you finally get back the healthy Cam Newton this year, like fully healthy. Get to see what he can do in it. I think by week 3, if he's not doing what he needs to be doing, I think Mac Jones takes over.
Sure.
Has been having a good preseason so far. Mac Jones has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another one.
Fan favorite.
Yes, that's right. Another one turning heads. I did find it funny in practice. He was wearing number 50 for a little bit there.
Yeah, I think they do that. I think Bill Belichick. That's
right.
And that's what I was going to
say.
Yeah.
Unique quirk. Every coaching staff or players that have been veterans on the team, they always got their own unique punishments or rules for the rookies. So that one just seemed to make the most headlines early on. It is the 50 jersey being on Mac Jones. And quarterbacks, I think for the most part, week 1, as we said at the beginning, it's endless hype is how preseason works too. Mm-hmm. So, I think for the most part, all the QBs made some headline to where it's like, hey, there's some stuff that we can take from here. And I wish none of them to fail, but the odds are, and this is usually how the NFL works, one of them at the very least will probably not be good. It's very rare that the entire draft class is stellar. So I always take it with a grain of salt when I hear, look at this kid with these positive throws, and look at this guy maneuvering the pocket like it's no other. And then I got myself, Justin Fields, and I'm trying to be timid because I'm, as you guys know, and many that listen, I'm a pessimist on my own team. So, anything that's reported as this is incredible, throw him in instantly, is me going, hold your horses, kid. Let's get another weekend.
Well, the good news is the Bears have decided to make Andy Dalton their week 1 starter. So we definitely won't be seeing Justin Fields' ability until later on the season.
Well, Tony, you and I have a connection, at least for as long as the Red Rifle is on the field at some point, whether it's the beginning of the year or maybe he excels.
Week 5.
This is, as he's saying, it's my time. He's going to be a great QB, but this is my time.
Yeah, where was he the last couple of years though? So that's
Where was he last year when the NFC East was a garbage fire?
When the NFC East was up for grabs, all you had to do was just win week 17 and get a little bit of help from Philadelphia. But no, it's fine.
When the world needed him most, he vanished. Gone in the blink of an eye.
You love to see it.
Yeah, you love to see it. I get to witness the Red Rifle, and everyone in Chicago wants Fields in to start. I think even more so than Chicago. I think in the Bay Area they want to see Trey Lance in faster. Mm-hmm. After week 1 and all the hype that's been going on in camp, where you're hearing the folks from the Shanahan coaching staff praising, going, this kid's the real deal. He delivers on everything. He's been impressive through and through. Mm-hmm. And there's folks watching and knowing Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to get nicked up somehow, because it generally happens. Sans 2 seasons ago. And people know Jimmy Garoppolo is turnover friendly in terms of giving gifts to the defense a little more often when he's in. So, you got a young guy, then everyone wants the next Mahomes, and Lance is supposedly looking like that next Mahomes to many people. So I think
what a bunch of pressure to put on a rookie just to potentially, because see, you put that much pressure on somebody, man, and they don't meet those expectations. They could be a good quarterback, but if they don't meet those expectations, that people can see them as a failure. And it's a ridiculous thing. Part of me is really tired of hearing, oh, they're the next so-and-so, like the next Mahomes, the next Brady. And they're the next them. They're the next they're the only Trey Lance. Like,
Be the
let
first.
them.
Right.
It's when the NBA came out and like NBA, like they're like, oh, Devin Booker's the next Kobe Bryant. I was like, Devin Booker's the next Devin Booker. Shut up. Like, don't compare him to Kobe.
Yeah,
There you go. Be the next
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Do
that's
your
right.
thing. Do your thing.
We're also a motivational podcast here.
Yeah. we hype up rookies until we know that they maybe aren't playing to what they need, and then we got to talk about flaws.
And
So-
then we tear them down a little bit, but it's fine. You know? It's fine.
like any other NFL podcast out there, we just we build them up, and then as soon as you see something, you just keep chipping, and maybe
That's
he
right.
fixes
Pull
it.
the rug out and just,
Or you just wait till the sophomore slump next year.
Right.
Everybody gets a pass year one. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets
That's
one.
right.
Everybody gets
That's
one.
right.
One.
All right. One last thing on the preseason QBs here, just because I've been for myself looking at this post game press conference from Justin Fields, and the quote of the game was slower than I expected. I got to ask, cocky or cool?
Cool. Because a lot of times you have these rookies that come into the NFL and you hear them say, oh, the game's so much faster. The game's so much faster. The game's so much faster. And then so they have that expectation that it's supposed to be super, super fast and that, they're not going to have as much time. To me, if he's seeing it as slower, that means he's ready for the NFL in my eyes. There are rookies that'll come in and be like, oh, it's faster than I was expecting. And I was like, yeah, it's the pros. Like, it's going to be a little bit different. So I think the ones that aren't that I think Fields is seeing it and he's developing fine, that if he's saying, hey, the game seems slow, it's not a cockiness thing. It's a, it's kind of like a thing of, oh man, I was more ready than I thought I was. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I think he just believes in himself more than anything, because you heard all the off-season kind of beating him down after the draft. Like, he does so well against Clemson, and then he doesn't do so hot against Northwestern, and then I hope he proves everybody wrong. Like, that's just how I am. Like, let him prove everyone wrong, and then let's see what everyone starts saying, because that's just like with the whole Lamar Jackson thing. He's a running back. This is like the perfect comparison. Not that he's any better or worse or whatever, but or comparing at all, but it's almost a similar hype to it. And I don't know. The guy just believes in himself. He's calm. He seems like he's cool and collective, and I say just let it fire. Let's go. I just put him in now.
I've said it before.
What do they got to lose?
Fields is going to be the one. Is going to be the Ohio State quarterback to break the curse that has been.
Hey, I hope he is. He's on my team, so
you kind of have to hope so.
I don't wish people to fail, and I especially don't want that cycle to continue on my own roster.
Right.
For Christ's sake, they moved up to trade. They trade up for the guy. I expect that there better be something there, and then there were flashes. I'm just saying.
There were flashes.
He's got to keep chipping. He's got chipping away from me. He's got the rest of Chicago, but he ain't gonna get me yet. I gotta. This wall's pretty big of bringing me back around.
We're
not gonna reel you in just yet. You're dancing around the bait.
He's nibbling at the worm in the water, man. He's just see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
He's not ready to commit full time to biting that worm.
Yeah, and if we're gonna keep going with the fishing terms, I'm the big bass under the dock, and you want to catch me, but you got to work a little harder than that. Had to get me to go for that.
You got to give me more.
I ain't no bluegill or sunfish in this lake. I am a bass. Okay.
I love it.
Oh, man.
Just say it. I'm just saying.
That's right. That's right.
So you know what? You guys think it's cool? I'll say it was cool then. I was on the fence, but I'll go cool. You know what's not cool? Yep. The NFL decided to be the no fun league out of the blue again. Like, didn't we just get over this with the celebrations in the end zones a few years ago? Oh. And now the NFL is on a tirade. No taunts. We can't get in people's faces. We have to act like emotionless robots on the field. And I was curious because where in the world did this come from? It just seems like it's out of nowhere. And I got to thank Yahoo Sports, because apparently Charles Robinson has the answer. According to this, he claims that per two NFL officials that are close to the situation, the general phrasing, you don't want to give the names, that
That's right.
Tyreek Hill's deuce symbol being used repeatedly over the last few years and being one of the highlights in terms of how it was displayed on the broadcast for Super Bowl 54, for Super Bowl 54, led to this decision that owners didn't want to keep seeing this and didn't want to keep this escalating, and that they saw that it was becoming more of an issue as the seasons have gone by. And so now they're deciding it's a point of emphasis for the officials to crack down on it this year. And we've already seen it used. That Colts game that Michael was talking about, you had a kid there, and I'm going to get the name before we end this, of course.
It's Benny LeMay.
There we go. And
I was going to say
has an excellent rant on this already. So I'm not going to, I don't think I'll be able to match it, but I'm still upset as many are. Dude runs for 15 yards, stellar run, kind of one of those like beast mode. You break multiple tackles, you're going to get pumped. And the guy doesn't even lean down into a defender's face. He just kind of does the flex. The typical flex is a normal thing in the NFL. And he gets a 15-yard penalty. He wipes out his run in one flex. So you can't do that. Doesn't even get in his face. You can't flex on people anymore. The No Fun League is back. And it is such a shame. I thought we made progress, ladies and gentlemen. I thought we were going places. I thought we were modernizing how we watch the game and letting players be a product. But no, the NFL wants you to be the nice and orderly committee in a world of emotion.
Yep. Robot City.
We all play football. All three of us have played football in this podcast. How that is impossible. And I'll be the first one to say this. I was one of the most, in terms of on field, generally I was one of the most mild guys. But even then, you find moments where you're going to get hyped up. You can't contain some emotion. It's going to happen.
They are going to break the record, probably shatter it by 1 million of how many flags they're going to be this year. Because guys are not going to not celebrate a touchdown like they do. It pisses me off just thinking about it, because like I watched that video today of that run by Benny LeMay. Like, that's a guy, like, I was literally reading about him. He's a 4-string running back trying to make a name for himself, and you can't get fired up about it. Like, that I just see this season, and you know what? It's going to happen again. And you know when it's going to happen? It's going to happen in a really big game, and someone's going to get the team is going to be literally penalized for it, and it's going to hurt them. It's in a costly game, and it's going to cost maybe a trip to the Super Bowl. It sadly will be.
It might.
So
yeah.
I don't predict the future, but still.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's one of those things, like, and I read that same article, Zach, where it was like they were upset, like Antoine Winfield Jr. like did it back to him in the Super Bowl. Even Andy Reid was like, was talking about like week 12 when Tyreek Hill stopped, kind of stared down the defense, and then flipped over to break the plane, and they didn't call a taunting penalty on that either. It's one of those things where it's a very fine line. But at the same time, let the boys play, man. This game, there's nothing stoic about this game. This is an emotional, violent game. And for a 4-string running back to basically carry 7 dudes on his back as he runs for 15 yards, hell yeah, I'm going to get pumped about that. Are you kidding me? Especially because that run could be the difference maker of him making a team or not.
That's very true.
It's one of those things where we're looking at it as, we don't want any taunting. Man, did they watch what happened between Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson? They jogged so much they started throwing hands at each other. Cortland Finnegan's helmet got ripped off. Like, that's what the league was, man. It was you're gonna talk shit, like we're gonna come at you even harder. And Tyreek Hill has all the reason to taunt people. I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
You make merchandise around that symbol at this point.
Yeah, you want him to stop doing it? then stop them. It's that simple. And I think it adds a little bit to it. If somebody's going to get taunted, like get flagged for taunting, it's going to be the defense more than anybody because they're going to make a pass breakup. They're going to do something like, whatever corner does where they get a good pass breakup and they're just like, no, or they like flex or what they do, whatever. And they're going to get penalized for it. And so that great play that they just made is going to be all for naught because 15-yard penalty for taunting. It's ridiculous, man. Taunting is my definition of taunting is Deshaun Jackson high stepping / like running into the end zone like he's about to score a touchdown, and then he did drop the ball a couple of times, but like it's one of those things like but if you stop and you stare down the defender and do a backflip, that's probably taunting. Yeah. But if you're doing a backflip after scoring a touchdown, no, absolutely not. If you make a good play, once that ball breaks the plane, that ball's dead, man. The play's over. So why let them celebrate? Let them have fun. There's a reason people don't want their kids to play football anymore. Not just because of the health aspects, but because if you're going to take the fun out of it, the hell's the point?
I don't like it. I simply don't like it. I mean, it's universally panned right now by most fans going, why? Just the demonstration video alone that the NFL was trying to show to its referees and those that were trying to evaluate why this change was made, like just showing just one of the example videos was actually a Baker Mayfield pass to Jarvis Landry, and similar deal. Landry kind of just gets close to the face masks. He looks like he's like flexing a little bit, and they're saying, yeah, that's a penalty. And that one was much closer than what we saw come this past Sunday, but it doesn't deserve that warrant. This is a typical thing. The referees can control the game. There's been worse that's happened before. And I don't understand some of the stuff with the competition committee trying to be like this. I thought we passed this hurdle with the end zone celebrations a few seasons back. And I don't get why they're revisiting it. To quote, here's one that's really gotten on people's nerves as of late, just a few days prior to our recording. At a Giants press conference, co-owner John Mara was interviewed asking, because he's on the competition committee, and so you can directly ask him about why this change was made. And he's directly quoted saying, "We try to balance the sportsmanship with allowing players to have fun, and there's always a fine line there, but none of us like to see that." And that in terms of taunting. They don't like the taunting. They don't like the aspect of players getting on it. And he goes even further. He goes, quote, "We get kind of sick and tired of taunting that does go on from time to time on the field. Nobody wants to see players taunting another player. Newsflash, fans want that. I thought that's who you're advertising the game to. The people that want to buy the tickets, the people that want to go have butts in seats and buy the merchandise, all the stuff the NFL wants you to do. And you're going to nerf the players that are the personalities you tune into the game for. If it's not for your team loyalty, it's generally for the players that you see as stars, because that's kind of how sports are going, is towards star-driven talent being the way you watch rather than being a fandom. Mm-hmm. What in the hell are you doing, guys? It's not like, look at the NBA. The NBA is capitalizing on being that way, where it's the stars are your marketing and your drive to sell items and to be the game. Yeah, people dislike how the stars have seemed to control how you build super teams and such, but the truth is it's building the NBA up. It's making them money. The NFL is one of the most money-first organizations out there, and you're going to decide to nerf players because you don't like how they throw a deuce sign up when they go for a touchdown? Get out of my face, man. What in the world are you thinking? Come on. You made progress. Stop going backwards. You were at a good checkpoint. Why are you trying to go back a checkpoint and reset everything again?
Yeah, and from a competitive side, if you're the team that's technically throwing the deuces, or you're flexing on somebody, it's demoralizing for the other team. So you're basically still keeping the other team in it by not showing that, hey, I'm better than you. And if you get pissed about it, then stop them, man. Show up on the field. Like, don't need to throw a 15-yard flag for taunting. Just stop them.
You know how many people
pick your head up and go hit them again.
You know how many people loved in the Super Bowl seeing Antoine Winfield give Tyreek Hill his just desserts on that? You know how cool of a storyline that is? You know how much that drives internet traffic when people see that video? Mm-hmm. It's legendary
Yep.
now. That makes a sports moment. That defined the game. They took what was key from Kansas City, and in one pose from a player across from him and schooling Tyreek Hill with the signature mark, that was a definition of a game in a picture.
Yep.
That's a taunt.
It was.
That would be a penalty now.
They flagged him for a penalty then.
Yeah, they did do it at that
They
time.
fined him for it too.
Of course. But of course,
But,
it was on the
yeah.
largest stage in the NFL. So they were going to find him because it's hurting our brand. The NFL is always with the brand. The brand's getting hurt because our players are making us look cool on social media. You know, the brand's getting hurt because we're getting talks and we're getting impressions. Screw you if you thought that hurt the brand. That didn't hurt anyone's brand. You just didn't like it.
That helped Antoine Winfield Jr.'s brand. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
For real.
It didn't hurt the NFL in any way. It made the game cooler. That was a blowout, for Christ's sake. You know, that
I lost
defined.
$10 on that.
Oh, you lost $10? Luckily, I didn't lose any money on that game.
I was back in Indiana for the Super Bowl, and sports betting's legal there. So I put $5 on a 5-leg parlay, and then lost that by halftime. And then I was like, you know what? I'll throw the other 5 on a prop bet. Lost that one too. So
the only thing I lost on Super Bowl Sunday was probably progress on losing any weight because I devoured tons of appetizers that the family
so much, yeah.
You know,
Oh man.
but
I like that day.
I like moments like that, and I know
That's right.
probably everyone that I understand in the sports media world has complained about this, and we've seen better. You know, the best rant was McAfee and that, of course, but it's just like, come on! I thought we were away from the no fun league. You know, I haven't heard that term in several years. There was the first time someone brought it up. As soon as that dropped, you see articles putting no fun league back in, and I thought we moved on.
Yeah, it's
Bring back the Roger Goodell clown nose.
I was
face,
thinking the same thing, Mike.
hair,
I'll buy a T-shirt after
man.
this show. I'll gladly go
Dude.
get one of those.
I
need that in my wardrobe.
Yeah.
might have to make a purchase.
They might have them in tank tops too. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't checked their store lately.
I gotta go find it. Maybe Redbubble's got something. Go on there.
I'm sure they do. That just that whole thing, it's just ridiculous
Pitiful.
where we're going. I hope it doesn't get worse.
You would think it wouldn't, but you know,
But here we are.
The NFL's the NFL, man. Their own. I know owners. You know, they hold all the cards and all that, but
They
like I
do.
said, like when you look at the NBA and how loose they seem to be anymore, where it's like, well, you're a player, you have a personality, you're marketable, which helps our league. Like, go do that. And then you see the NFL and even the MLB. I'll even add into this where it's like, you're a star, but we don't want you doing that because the brand. And I'm like, that helps your brand if you let them be personalities. Stop nerfing their personalities.
Yep.
Look at, just like I said, look at the other league that's doing the things that you should be doing in terms of letting players be players a bit. So it's right across. It's right across from you. Just, you know, I could say I could keep banging. I could keep banging this if I wanted, but you know, it just gets repetitive after a while. It's gonna be a problem. I know we're gonna talk about it later this year. One of us is going to bring it up, and like Michael said, it's gonna screw a game.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be like that offensive pass interference penalty against Michael Gallup week 1 of last season.
Yeah, it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Okay. Take here right now. We'll make a prediction. Will this be worse than how they did the challenging interceptions rule a few seasons back?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't even wait.
I don't even need to wait.
Right on it.
Yes.
I mean, that was
going to be
awful,
horrible.
so.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be frustrating because it's going to make the games longer, especially if you're attending a game. Like, they're already 3 hours long, if not longer, if they go to overtime. So it's like, yeah, let's just add another TV timeout because, hey, we got another flag. Or, yeah, I don't know. It's just, they just find new ways to be.
I can't wait for Al Michaels' reaction to it. He'll just be like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. He's like,
yeah, like, and it's going to be frustrating for coaches and even more so players. They're just going to be so sick of it. They're just going to be like, well, screw it. We're just going to, maybe they'll just all strike.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be it. and then they won't have football.
What I kind of hope it blows up in their face mid-season, and that they
I
see
hope it
something.
does.
They see it change a game. You're gonna, like I said, as long as public opinion keeps getting backlash, like it'll be just like the end zone celebrations. I bet that in a year or two they'll see how poorly this went, and they'll shrug, go, fine, we'll do it, guys.
We learned from this.
I guess we'll just let them throw the deuces up or flex their muscles in front of people. And,
Yep.
Makes them mad, but they'll realize that people wanted that and that people were okay with it all along.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
It wasn't that big of a deal, and you decided to do that for the hell of it.
The flexing still gets me like insanely annoyed because how many times have you seen a defensive player make a tackle in the backfield, get up, not even near the opposing player, and flex or like show emotion? It's like now that's going to be a penalty, and the game is just going to suck.
Yeah, can you even like high five your teammates or what? Like, or do you just tackle, get up, and just walk back to the huddle?
They're trying to limit it where I think it's like they don't. I almost feel like this is to mitigate possible fights as well. But
Fair.
Again, you can control that, I believe. I don't think
until
it's
somebody does something.
I don't think it's gotten to the point where NFL fights have gotten that rough. Like, we're not talking malice at the palace level type of stuff that we've seen in the recent years.
Right.
I just think that for some reason in their head, they're worried like, oh, well, some tension was there in the Super Bowl and it was on national TV. And if this gets out again, then it's going to put us a black eye. We'll just get ahead of this. And
I feel like they were tamer since then. I mean, again, Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson literally swung at each other, and one of them ripped the helmet off each other and swung it at him. Yeah. So I feel like we've gotten a lot tamer. I mean, minus the whole, Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph thing. That's something different. I don't know if there's something else going on there.
Well, even more recently, you have AJ Green and Jalen Ramsey doing that. Brawl center field.
That's true.
Well, that's because Jalen Ramsey is a tough competitor, and he's the thing is that the taunting that happens every single play, but it's not that obvious. You take a Jalen Ramsey, for example, you match him up against the best wide receiver. If he shuts him down a couple of times, he's in the space, he's jawing at him, but you can't really tell that that's taunting. That's just John. So does that then become a penalty, or does that continue? Because I feel like that is what causes more fights than, somebody throwing up the deuces sign or somebody flexing on somebody. It's the jawing in between it. And me and Zach know all too well. The jawing that goes on between the offensive defensive line, forget about it. That'd be a penalty every single play.
Yep.
God.
You're right.
Some of those interactions in high school, man, people were ridiculous. I swear. I'd have to think back a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that at the moment. But those trenches, man. You throw in a jab real quick and get in someone's head before the snap. That's all it is. Just really quick thing you just throw into someone. Like, am I really that? And then you get a false start play. Son of. It's the mental game.
That's right.
But it gets you too.
80% mental, 40% physical.
Yep, that's math.
Or something like that.
And if you can name what movie that's from, I'll give you extra bonus points.
Top of my head, no. I could guess one randomly.
Just take a wild guess.
I don't think it's The Replacements, but
no.
Yeah.
It's The Little Giants.
It's been a while since I've seen Little Giants.
That's same.
It's been a minute.
Same.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
I remember a lot of movie quotes. Ask Michael. I sent him a snap of a song from The Replacements today. It came on.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, what did you say? Yeah. What is that from? Fair enough.
Fair enough indeed. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it'll be a discussion throughout the season. It's too bad it's happening, but something will screw up is all it'll be. But we'll move on. Final thing for tonight, guys. Kind of revisiting how we were talking rookies. I asked all of you as we're doing this show prep again. Totally didn't rush this or anything in getting these topics. What? No, me getting last minute topics for you two? No, I would never do that.
Never.
I would never put you in such a bad situation of any kind. I asked each of us. We're going to each predict at least. I want one rookie you think's going to be impactful that maybe you don't see as one of the headline grabbing guys, or just a rookie you think is instantly going to be the most impact in the league, and he'll be making the headlines come week one. Since I threw Michael the first question, you can go ahead, Tony. Let's hear it, man.
Do you want my homer pick? Do you want my actual pick?
Well, I'm not surprised if you got a homer pick. One of them actually, that the one I'm going to go with, unless you pick them, might be your homer pick. So let's hear it.
You know what? I'll go with my non-homer pick to see what you pick.
Oh, we're playing a mental game already. Okay.
Always. So honestly, mine might be a little bit on the nose. You got to look at all the good rookie class, and I'm definitely not going with the quarterback. That's just way too cliche. I'm looking at Najee Harris for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he's going to, with a little bit of improvement on the offensive line for them. They got a little bit younger, got a little bit better. I think he's going to give them that much needed boost at running back that they've needed. I mean, James Conner, nothing against him, but Najee Harris is in class of his own. Not only that, the dude can catch like phenomenally out of the backfield. So if Big Ben gets in trouble, that dump off pass is going to be there for Najee, and he's going to be able to run wild on defenses. So I think, and especially in that division, you have to have a good running back. Otherwise you're not going to do well.
Okay. Yeah. I could see that. Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious to see about Pittsburgh's offensive line, because I know they lost a few guys, especially Villanueva to Baltimore too. So they're kind of new back there. So I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to do back there. Not saying that he's not going to do what he did in college, but I think he could do it too. But I'm just saying that offensive line is looking a little different in what I've seen. But hey, not saying that he's not going to do it, because it's not like any other running back hasn't been able to do it. So especially with a bad offensive line too. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's a solid pick.
I agree.
We said in our draft show, Najee Harris is a Derrick Henry that can actually catch better.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
At least on paper. Every player is on paper really right now until we get to the actual season ahead and everyone's playing seriously. It's not just fighting for position battles in meaningless games. So that's what we'll be getting. Michael, all right, buddy. Who's your guy? Come on.
I'm going home. I'm going homer pick right here. Kyle Pitts.
Oh,
had to do it. Only because I wasn't on that draft episode of the conclusion of it anyway, and I don't know. I'm excited to see what he's going to do now that Julio Jones is not there anymore. Sadly, he seems like he is making pretty nice strides at the joint practice with, I believe it was with Miami, and seeing lots of nice routes run and catches being made, and lots of stuff with Calvin Ridley too. It seems like they're both kind of connecting already, and giving that type of mentorship as how Julio did with Calvin Ridley. So, which is really nice, especially with Julio being gone, which tear to my eye, sucks. But hey, that's the business. So
true tragedy.
It definitely. So I'm excited to see him. It's kind of going to be hard to replace that, but you're not going to replace it. So you can only do what you can do. So historically, first round tight ends aren't very good, but it doesn't seem like he's a tight end in a sense. Like, he seems more on the side of wide receiver, So I think if he can just get that blocking in, I think he's going to be really good. He's got a chance to be really good piece in that offense. And now that Matt Ryan actually has a really solid tight end prospect coming in, he loves tight ends, as you've seen in his tenure. And even with Hayden Hurst, he was doing well. So they could potentially both be on the field at the same time. So I'm very curious to see what he's going to do this year. I'm excited, and yeah, we'll see how that works for him going forward. I like it.
I don't think I have much doubts about Pitts. And in terms of Matt Ryan utilizing tight ends, I mean, remember, this is a guy that used the back end of Tony Gonzalez's career to full effect, and very much to a high value target effect out in Atlanta. So you're not going to see that wasted. Hayden Hurst, of course, is also there too. So you got to deal with two dual threat tight ends, and now a receiver that, to some people in the NFL, and this is according to the top 100, at least DK Metcalf claiming he runs some of the best routes as Calvin Ridley. Apparently he runs some of the best routes in the NFL. Now took a massive step. So I can kind of believe that after what you watched last season. I can buy into that fully.
Yeah. Especially if he stays healthy too. I know he's had a little bit of the injury bug, but not as bad as Julio had. And, he was putting up big numbers without Julio in the lineup too. So it'll be nice for if he stays healthy, which knock on wood, but having Kyle Pitts in there is going to be huge, because he is huge. He's going to be such a mismatch for linebackers that are going to be covering him. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen, especially now that we finally have an offensive-minded head coach.
There you
love
go.
It. We snagged him. So
what's that like?
We'll see. I don't know. I'll tell you after the season, bud.
Mike McCarthy's going to lead the way in Dallas, Tony.
Oh,
gonna get
no.
it fixed. Whoa, hey. And then I haven't had a video or podcast demonetized yet. Although I haven't made any money off of them all yet. So really, I'm just making a joke on myself. Anyway.
Self-burn.
Self-burn.
Blowback.
Oh, man.
I call it blowback. Mental. So before I lead off, as I had mentioned, where I think this is Tony's homer pick, I may have misrepresented how I was meaning homer pick. I took it as college homer pick, not team homer pick for Dallas. Because I think Trey Sermon's gonna surprise some people out in San Francisco. So I don't know. I love the versatility. I think had a chip on his shoulder last season at Ohio State, proved some people wrong, slipped down, of course, in the third round of the draft. San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan knows how to use multiple weapons out there. Already has been making plays in terms of catches in his first preseason game with Trey Lance. Fun random stat. He was the only one, at least, that had multiple catches in terms of Lance's debut. He had 2. I don't know if that really means anything. It's a slight stat, but Trey Sermon, I think some people are overlooking, but it's in dark horse terms, someone that I think you'll see get much more production than people were suspecting. And I think he's going to make some heads turn a little bit. San Francisco's got plenty of weapons. As long as this is similar to what Michael's talking with health, San Francisco's health concerns, two of the past 3 years with Kyle Shanahan, they just can't keep guys on the field. That was the same thing as last year. This is
especially running backs.
As we've seen, especially, hey, talk about the running back position. That's what they need to stay healthy with. So this is a spot that I think you will see progress in, is that I think they realize that they need their guys healthy. They have, in terms of the quarterback situation, they don't have to rely on backups. Lance is there, supposed to be developing, but as we've seen, I think he can play. Don't know about first team reps yet, but to be determined. And I'm going to go with Sermon as your guy that's going to turn some heads and be impact player from day one. Because I don't know. I just, knowing Kyle Shanahan, he always has been the innovator numero uno in terms of offensive just schemes and kind of trying to outmaneuver defenses and what's the next biggest thing. And he's going to find a way to utilize Sermon really well. So I got him. He's going to be shifty. I'm looking forward to what the guy can do. And San Francisco's got me kind of raising some eyebrows because I think they're going to be better than even I thought they're going to this season in a heavily contested NFC West, mind you.
Oh,
Not
yes.
like difficult or anything. Not like I'm going to bet on the Rams again this year, right? I am, by the way.
I'll bet on the Cardinals again.
Oh, we're going to hold down our picks.
Oh, I'm not staying with Seattle. No way.
Oh,
I'll die on that hill. That's fine.
No, I don't believe in Seattle that much. Not anymore.
That's okay. They had limited picks. They didn't do much to the line. Russell Wilson might get some more say in that front office.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna see. I don't know. There's only so much you could do.
I mean, the Bears didn't get him, so obviously they calmed things enough down before the draft, as we know.
Yeah. Yep.
So
very true.
Only time will tell. I'm sticking with my Rams though. It's one of those little side things from last year. I keep that up.
Yeah, that's true. I remember you saying that. That was even before Stafford, I think. No.
Yeah, that was when Goff was still there.
Bold strategy there.
Yes, and John Wolford was supposed to play. Injuries, of course, changed that during that wild card. But what can you do?
What can you do?
What can you do?
Back-to-back home Super Bowls? Are we thinking?
I don't know about that. I think the Rams, as it's been talked by many, are a NFC Championship contender, but I don't see them moving on and hosting like the Buccaneers did.
That's deep.
I don't think it's in the cards.
Steep. Yeah, I don't think not in that. Not in the NFC. I feel like
NFC
I don't even think in the AFC either. Yeah.
NFC is the wild west of football, man. I mean, it's always wide
True.
open. No consistency really in my eyes.
Nope, hasn't been for a very long time.
No, I'm afraid not. But that's what makes it fun, right?
Amen to that.
In a no fun league, I get the fun conference. So does Tom,
right.
And so does Michael. We all get to enjoy that.
That's right.
For better or worse. Tony gets the most exciting division in the most exciting conference.
Most competitive division in the NFL, man. Tell you what.
The most
the repeat
Actually, I'm sorry.
in 20
Not the most
years.
exciting, the most volatile. That way we can't say it's most fun because I think the NFC West is the best in terms of fun teams. So,
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Gentlemen, it's been a blast. We're at the end of our first time back in several months, and I was just as happy as you guys are to be back here. It's been fun so far, and it's going to be fun as we go through the season. Again, folks listening and watching in on YouTube, because we're going to be really hitting that harder this year than we did last year. Bi-weekly show. As we did last season, we're going to keep doing these bi-weekly, doing these updates, talking the NFL season, talking more issues, things that come up, and we'll do our team roundups a little harder than we did this show. This one, it's preseason, so we can only go so far in, but trust me, each one of us will get to either rant or boast about what our progress or downfall is this year. Maybe it's not a depressing fest or just slog like it was last season. Who knows? Maybe Tony comes out the gate and the Cowboys look like a contender. Maybe Michael.
What? A contender?
We might have a comeback win against the Falcons at some point during the season though.
Oh,
yeah, you're probably right.
Maybe.
You're probably right.
And maybe I get to chip down. Defense. Maybe I get to chip down that large wall that's built in front of any bit of confidence with this football team in Chicago.
I hope so.
Slowly
For real.
It's the world's smallest pickaxe. Chip it away. Oh, there's a big chunk. Just fell off.
Oh, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Oh, man.
Just a little bit. Guys, the final word is here. The first one of our 2021 season of this edition of the Zach, Tony, and Grimbo Show. Tony, take it away, buddy. What's the final word today?
So usually I have something that'll base off of, me going on this rant. I'll be honest with you, my workday was super busy. So all of this that's been, that I've said has really been off the cuff. So why change it now, right? I think the biggest thing moving forward, it's a mantra I try to live by. I try to remind myself of it daily. the world is busy. The world is insane right now. Make sure you take care of yourself. First and foremost, make sure you take care of your friends and family. And then third and finally, if you need to, it's the way I learn. I work is take care of yourself, take care of your friends and family, then take care of the job. And you have to do it in that order. Otherwise, the other two won't fall into place.
Good point. Michael, any final thoughts?
I like that, Tony. I like that. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. No, I think it's just been. It's good to get back into the saddle again. Let me just start off with that, and because last time I was on my honeymoon,
right?
Last time you guys were on here, and it was good to listen to your guys' show, and now it's great to be back out and doing this again and seeing what football is going to lead us to this year. Like you were saying, the heartbreaks and the good times, hopefully for us, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm just ready to talk football again. It's always so fun to devote a little bit of time to talking with you guys, even if it's over the chat, whether it's an update or whatever it might be through our busy lives that we have. So yeah, just excited to be back with it. So I'm ready.
Fantastic. I still find, at least me and Tony still find it just kind of crazy. You tried to join in during your honeymoon. So let's not forget that this man tried to do that.
I tried, man.
During his honeymoon.
Listen, I love the dedication. I love it.
Dedications through the roof. Wasn't in the cards. Or in the Wi-Fi, I should say.
Or in the Wi-Fi, right? Thank God the universe aligned to where me and Tony were like, just enjoy your trip. Like we could take care of Aaron Rodgers freaking people out.
That's true. You guys did.
But we're back, folks. It is a new NFL season, which means we have a new season of the Zach, Tony, and Grimbo Show, part of the Gridiron Gallery podcast, which is now part of the newly formed Belly Up podcast network that Unhinged has joined. So we are part of Unhinged Radio as well. Good to have that. It's been a fun venture that we've been doing, and I am excited to see where this goes for us. So we'll get to grow with them too. My God, if you're watching the video, folks, Tony is utilizing Zoom. What even is that? That's my logo, but why is there a 101 up top?
Because we weren't able to do this last week for the 100th episode, but damn it, we're here for the 101st.
Train horn for that, baby. You hear that?
It's a class, man. It's Gridiron Gallery 101.
Take notes.
Yeah, folks, it is the 100. Tony is right. This is the 101st. If you listen to our episode last week, this was supposed to be the 100th, and we really tried to get that to go. By the way, Steve's interview with director Steve Potter was really good, but I'm happy. By the way, you guys have joined in on this show. I know you guys came along a little later on down the line, but it's been a blast. I will say, this show, I think I've become better friends with you guys through this at times than I have even when we knew each other in high school. So, not to say that's a negative thing. I think that's a great thing that, just to get to know you guys more. It's been fun, and I'm glad we get to keep doing this. So really appreciate it. You guys are helping build this great show in my eyes, and I can't thank you enough.
No, thank you. No, it's always fun. I always look forward to it.
You're putting in the work. I'm just spewing nonsense out of my mouth. So I mean, let's be honest here.
You brought the laughs though. You see, you did that 101. You did the 101, and just go watch the YouTube video, folks. You'll understand what the hell I'm talking about right now. You can't see it through an audio file. What?
Silly you.
Go to YouTube. Check it out. Gridiron Gallery on YouTube. You'll find it. Just look at the Zach, Tony, and Grimbo Show playlist. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. My final word is welcome back, NFL 2021. I can't wait to go to a game. People, please don't screw this up for me. Let me just go to a game without worrying about you idiots out there.
Oh, man.
I'm being a little more harsher this year. I was kind of calm. Now I'm going to be a little mean from now on. Don't mess this up. I am trying to go to the Cardinals game, or the Bears game that's having the Cardinals go to Soldier Field. Don't screw this up for me. I swear to God.
I'm going to a Browns-Bengals game in November, so
Ooh.
I have no dog in the fight. So I just want to go watch football.
I'm debating on going to that Bears-Browns game out in Cleveland, so might be hitting you up as well.
Come on out.
The reasonable tickets, that's the thing. It's reasonable prices tickets out there.
At the dog
reasonable right now, man. Just wait till they start winning.
Oh,
gotta make sure you get COVID insurance.
COVID insurance.
Okay. It's a real thing.
COVID. Okay, yeah, I get it.
We won't mention that word on the show.
I get it. I get it. It's too late. Fair enough. Folks, we'll catch you in 2 weeks. For Michael Grimbo Grimberg, for Tony Stengelson, I'm Zach Keilman saying so long. Thanks for tuning in. We're excited to get into the NFL spirit once more and be better than the No Fun League, because we're going to have a lot more fun than maybe some of the players will. Until next time, guys, catch you in 2 weeks and stay tuned. The Gridiron Gallery Podcast. New episodes every Friday on your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, and premiering first, as always, at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, only on unhingedsn.com.